Dear viewer, do you money? Would you happen to be retarded? Do you both? What if I told you there was a million other people just like you? Welcome to WallStreetBets, previously known as Autist Anonymous, the land of infinite leverage, photoshopped gains, ridiculous gifts, and the miserable end result of reckless trading and financial stupidity. So you're new here. Great. I know you found this subreddit by scrolling aimlessly, seeing all the lost porn and ridiculous gains, and you figured, hey, why not chuck that $20 Nana gave you into your Robinhood account? Double great. You've discovered you can trade options and now your retard calls expire in 3 minutes. You've made $300 from your initial investment of $20 and you feel like the brightest, most unsung genius there ever was. Don't worry, the first one's free. You've nabbed those financial disciplinaries or FDs. You understand your position fully because you spent hours collecting douche debris or DD. Fundamentals and futures, fundamental futures, futuristic fundamentals, infinite leverage, You've ascended. Congratulations, you've been vaccinated. And if you don't understand any of what the fuck I just said, it's okay. Neither do a million retards who have found their sociopathic community on Chinese-controlled Reddit. While millions of Americans had their portfolios skull-fucked, this army of smooth-brained Lennies raked in millions of dollars in gains, and then subsequently lost their gains on the false assumption that toilet paper would become the new paper currency. Luckily for America's future, under Jerome Powell's leadership, that may very well happen. WallStreetBets is here to help you cope. Let me introduce you to a user by the name of Control the Narrative. This sentient lugnut found a cheat code inside the popular mobile game Robinhood. Irony Man was reincarnated for a short while, but instead of box spreads, Vincent Van Gogh discovered that he could leverage credit from small starting investments and subsequently did this. For those who don't quite understand the information gathered from this visualization of a man's financial future's imminent destruction, here's a summary. Yes, as it turns out, the only narrative Control the Narrative controlled was that of a tragic end to his option trading experience. After only 3 weeks of figuring out how options work, he managed to gain a substantial amount of debt. Not bad, right? Why did he do this? In search of those mythical tendies, tendered for coke, hookers, and the occasional yacht rental? Look what he's got now. It was all worth it. This brilliant socket wrench set the stage for even more irresponsible trades. A user by the name of WoodC93 started with $15,000 and then turned it into negative $250,000. At one point, his position was 7 figures. His only regret?
Yeah, I probably shouldn't have used all 15 because I could have done it with 2.
A bunch of other users followed suit. Some made it out bigly. Robinhood released this statement and had the audacity to claim that this bug, while not really a bug, is a feature while not really a feature. They also stated that only 20 customers took advantage of this advantageous advantage. If you were to ask me why it wasn't 700,000 retards, I have no idea. But the point is, Robinhood had been diddled and would never recover from the trauma, which is not true. Because all publicity, including stupidly irresponsible publicity, is good publicity. Halls of Robinhood's, the crawl spaces of Robinhood's headquarters are butt-puckered tight. Who knew a well-meaning, well-to-do, streamlined trading app marketed to the average construction worker who may be interested in a little stocky swaps could invite a drove of psychotic shit posters wasting thousands of dollars on short-term options and risky leveraged positions. For the average trader, users like this are a source of entertainment and borderline securities fraud. Sort of like a car crash on the side of the road. You can't help but laugh at the burned bodies. But for Wall Street bettors, it's all a challenge. Once in a blue moon, a pesky retard rises from the depths of mediocrity and makes the bet of a lifetime. WallStreetBets God is this quarter's Rain Man, having bet roughly $50,000 on long shot option plays on the belief that Tesla would moon. Months rolled by. Thousands of dollars splattered on the board as his dice rolls snake-eyed over and over again. Balls of steel gripped by diamond hands. Just as the horizon faded and all hope was lost, elongated muskrat pulled through for this dingus, and the stock price jumped nearly 250%, netting WallStreetBets God nearly $1 million. From there, he would go on to repeat this success by betting his profits on an even longer shot. Strike prices of $750 to $1,000. For those just tuning in, the share price would have to near or surpass these figures for these contracts to profit, and they did, rather miraculously. The strange thing about this story is that there is no record of these contracts selling during the date WallStreetBets God claimed they had sold, which means he's a downright dirty ape and a 2-bit charlatan. I'm just kidding. Obviously, this is all real. I mean, just look at what he wrote. This dude has amassed such a glorious following of smooth-brained Downies trying to replicate his success that he could start his own cult, but he'll probably end up trying to shill a PDF of how I sorted the economy and now I'm a billionaire. and Photoshop the total sales figure. Given his grandiose demeanor and larger-than-life presentation, one would surmise that he's either a god among men, a lucky sped who struck the lotto, or a photoshopping grifter who's in league with WallStreetBets to garner attraction to this subreddit to push trading courses and marketing schemes. Or he's all three, a chimera fuckhead retard with inspect element money to burn. I'm not buying it. You're probably wondering, how in the good goddamn shit are these retards pulling in this kind of dough? They certainly aren't lying. They certainly are betting modest figures and turning it into immodest figures. It's all about options. Option trading. One of the riskiest trading paths there is, especially if you don't know what you're doing. Options opens the door to probabilities and the ability to buy or sell shares at a given price. The strike. For instance, if I believe that financial collapse is imminent, I think rope is going to fucking bounce off the moon. I can buy several call options, which means I profit the more the stock price goes up. But if the Federation of Retarded Reptilians cranks the money printer and saves the market by rendering money meaningless and catapulting debt in which future generations foot the bill as the main economic driving force, and all of a sudden people want to live in this burning world we created for ourselves, rope will plummet due to lack of demand, and I lose money. Now, if I live in La La Land, and I believe that no soul will ever have to be strung up by rope because the economy is paying its dividends in happy pills and constant ocular stimulation, I can buy put options. Now, if rope, that glorious Fortune 3 company, were to lose its value, my put option contracts skyrocket, and everyone lives happily ever after. What Wall Street bettors do with this information is they take financial advice from posts written by ignorant college students who spend all night snorting Adderall and researching commodities and retracing trends with the Fibonacci sequence while applying set theoretic equations to probabilistic subsets, and shit, he's ran out of Adderall, and there's no conclusion to his rant. Oh well, what's the expiry and strike price? Because that's all that matters. As the flu season broke out and everyone lost their shit, the market had the runs and millions of Americans saw their investment portfolios hemorrhage. Perma bulls stroked out and wasted valuable dollars like Juice WRLD at a strip club, and gay bears finally saw their comeuppance after waiting years and 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 years for their time to shine. To then be trained on by Donny Dorito and his 20-minute ad for retail corporations pumping the market. It seems to be a perpetual battle of optimists and masochists, but the end is nowhere in sight, and the market is more unpredictable than not. Managed decline is in session, and trillions of dollars of IOUs are propping up the capital markets, and we're told it's sustainable because who gives a fuck about the financial futures of millennials and zoomers? Might as well bet it all on red. It's been said that concentration builds wealth, while diversification maintains it. High risk, high return. That's the motto, sort of. As the economic climate changes for the worst, and the Fed turns the US dollar into monopoly money, more and more millennials will shell out portions of their life savings on risky option contracts, while the douchebag that sells them these contracts rubs his hands together and cackles maniacally. Money's just paper, right? No matter how stupidly optimistic your models are, growth obligations in an overpriced market are doomed to fail at some point. Now, in theory, one could keep going, selling naked calls, buying out the money puts like you hate gains and financial freedom, stroking your ego while money appears out of thin air, numbering in the 6 to 7 figures. Is it within your personal risk tolerance? Stop scratching that penny on your phone. It's not a scratch-off lotto. It's just a shitty trading app. If you're considering dropping your rent money or your dad's lover's trust fund into risky trades just to get margin called, you'd do well to take a gander at these wares. Assess your personal risk tolerance. Learn slow investment strategies.
Tesla 69 puts, 420 calls expiry fucking right now.
The subreddit has added nearly 400,000 members to its ranks in a matter of months. Already there has been some questionable events, like a few campaigns to pump stocks by artificially amassing volume by enlisting mouth-breathing dingbats from the new section to purchase a grip of contracts at a given price. The Lumber Liquidators event is a good example. Quite a few made a pretty penny of this supposed dual danger post. Essentially, though 1 million members of a subreddit wouldn't affect more than negligible movements in the stock exchange, a simple post could turn the tide for a stock's performance, albeit marginally. But that margin could amass gains who bought it before the manipulation.
Wait, that's illegal.
Most of the time, you'd be wise to inverse the going theory making the rounds on this subreddit. The people on the opposite end of these trades certainly reap rewards from inversing. And with the growing traffic, the subreddit has garnered some mighty press attention, like the front page article of Business Week, a shocking teardown from a financial genius, and a Bloomberg shitpost written by a human sock puppet. And how is the founder of WallStreetBets doing with this newfound fame? Well, he's selling a book, of course. Who wouldn't? He's also announced an esports event where autists can duke it out with their trading accounts. And it's bound for success just like the Fire Festival. And for the low price of $1,497 USD, you can get access to a bunch of 2-minute videos that apparently teach you how to trade options. You know, information you can find anywhere on the internet. Here he is telling you all about the course.
Buy high, sell low, faggot.
On April 8th, the subreddit had been set to private, and behind the scenes, the handful of moderators were sick and tired of being paid $5 an hour and WeWork stock options, especially when the founder of the subreddit was obviously grifting and shilling a bullshit trading course. So they decided to restore the subreddit to its original glory, staging a coup d'etat and banned the founder, Jartech. It's obvious that the tagline "too big to fail" does not apply to banks or WallStreetBets. I believe we can will a lie to truth. And once the Chinese government realizes the power of WallStreetBets, it's only a matter of time before it's quarantined like Wuhan and sent to a concentration camp that uses bicycles to mine Bitcoin after the US dollar collapses. WallStreetBets has become too popular for its own good. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Follow the link below to access my trading course, and be sure to sign up for Webull using the referral link.
Please, sir, I want some more.